And hello, everybody. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here with us today. We have a really great guest for you and a very good topic, and I'm excited about it. But first, I'm going to say welcome to Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. I'm his co host, Annette Munich. Father Shawn is not able to be with us today because he has been on extended leave due to his wife's illness. And we do have a GoFundMe for that. There's a link in the chat room. And on GoFundMe, it's under Join Sharon's Fight to Beat Cancer. And that's Sharon Whittington. And this has just been just a long and horrendous ordeal. All of your prayers and contributions are appreciated more than you can imagine. She has had 6 procedures since June the 22nd, is still in the hospital. I don't know when she will be coming out of the hospital. This has just become a lot. I asked him for an update yesterday, and he just said that they're hanging in there. So things have not changed for the better, but also not changed for the worse. So it's going to be a process, and that's where we are. And he really is very grateful for everyone that keeps him on the prayer list and for all donations. And after this show, I'm going to post the link for that in the comments for people that don't catch the show live. Or if you're listening and you're on the radio in New Orleans or in the Gulf Coast and you want to come and find us on YouTube, it'll be there, and we appreciate you. Father Shawn Whittington is a priest for the United States Old Catholic Church. He is also an author. He has 2 books, God, Ghosts, and the Paranormal Ministry. I have the second one here. Try to get the reflection off of it. 1 and 2, and these are all his cases. Each one is a case that he had, and he writes how he resolved it. And you can't even imagine how crazy these stories are. You never know where they're going to go. They're completely unpredictable. Scariest books I've ever done. I'm his publisher and the owner of Stellium Books. Also, you may have seen Father Shawn on Eli Roth Presents the Legion of Exorcists on Travel Channel, and you can catch up on all of those episodes on Max and Discovery Plus. It's still like so crazy hot here, but we're troopers and we're gonna make the best of it. So it is pretty hot, but I'm going to introduce our guest and bring him in. It's hot where he is too, because he's from Las Vegas, so I guess I shouldn't complain because I'm just in Oklahoma. We have Danny Miner with us. Danny Miner is a retired detective. Danny Miner is the host of the Miner Details, the Danny Miner podcast, and you may have seen him on Cyber Sleuths. And we're so thankful and glad that he's able to join us today. And he has been with us before. Welcome back, Danny.
Thank you for having me back. And listen, I just want you to know I'm praying every night for Father Shawn's wife. It's,
yeah,
you know, I pray that she gets better and she beats this thing.
Yeah. It's really awful. I mean, really awful.
Right.
I feel bad about it all the time. I'm always praying for good news and for her to just be on the path to recovery and for all of this to be behind her. But she does have another procedure coming up when she's well enough and strong enough. And
Right.
the other stuff just comes along and they have no choice but to take care of it because it has to be. It's just been really awful.
Right.
I sound dramatic, but it just has been really awful and a long wait to the surgery date in the first place. Um,
Right.
I don't know if you've been following it on Facebook, but it's been just a very long, long haul. I have
Yeah.
Linda. Linda's in the chat room, Linda Wenzel, and we're so glad to have you here. And she's saying hello to both of us. Father Shawn, your
Hello.
wife is indeed in my prayers daily. I ask the Lord to do all that can be done for her. Thank you so much. And she's got hello Annette, and she's got hello Danny. And we have hello everyone praying for his wife, a dose of Angela official. Thank you so much and welcome here. Um, very glad to see you. And Travis is here. Travis is in Tennessee. We love Travis. Hello, Travis. So, what we have planned is an interesting conversation about the different types of aliens. And I talked to Danny before the show. You know, we wanted to make a good topic. And so we are doing that. But also, he said that they dropped a bunch more files today, which makes it even more interesting. And I did not see that. So we're going to get into that. And if anybody has comments or questions, go ahead and join in on the conversation. And we're so glad that you're here. I think that it gets a little bit confusing when they talk about the different types of aliens, and I keep up with a lot. I also am I have seen UFOs, so this has been a part of my life for a long time. And I've always been a believer because my grandma lived in Springfield, Ohio, and that's right by Wright Patterson Air Force Base.
Right.
And people my whole life were talking about there's aliens over there, they got aliens in there. And they were saying it with conviction. They
Right.
were not like, I think no. They were like, there's aliens over there. And
Right.
people over there completely were believers. And then I would say that I've seen 3 times. And the one was a really big experience that was completely undeniable. But I'm not like somebody who's been abducted or taken on anything.
Right.
But having said all that, there's a lot of information and stories going around, and a lot of the stuff that has come out in the files to people that are believers and have, you know, seen things because, you know, we came into the modern age where everyone had a video camera in their pocket and there's plenty to look at all the time, you know, of things that people send in. They're just kind of releasing things in slow little batches that people can digest if they're completely non-believers. And so far, they're not really caught up to where people that have been following this for decades already kind of are as far as what they've seen and come across and other people being interviewed and whatnot. So that's a lot. I just threw a big bucket on you, I guess. But, you know, if you know what I'm saying. So
Right.
mostly people are used to the idea of the grays. That's the most common thing, the grays with the big eyes. And then, people that talk about the reptilians. But from what I've heard over the years, is that a lot of that reptilian stuff that they're here and they've been here for a long time, and they're not necessarily like spaceships driven by alligators.
Right.
and then the Nordics, which might be Palladian, and then the ones that look like praying mantis things. And
Right.
so I'm gonna just pull you in right now to clarify a little bit. And so
Well,
what do you,
listen, I think I got big on true crime on TikTok, right? Through all
okay,
platforms I have like 900,000 followers. But
okay,
aliens and paranormal is my true love. So that's why I'm on here. Even though I
right,
do true crime, I throw in politics here and there. I mean, paranormal is my true love. And recently, guys, I saw an orb while I was doing a video for my content. I was sitting there doing my content, and while I was doing my content, I saw an orb fly across the room. And it went like that. And while I was doing my content, I actually looked up and I looked at the camera and said, I just saw an orb in the middle of my video. So my
wow,
followers saw the video, everything, because I saw this orb flying across the room. Now, listen, I've never seen a UFO in my life. Okay. I've heard the stories. I followed Roswell. I went to Roswell last year so I could see it personally, the area. I went to Arizona, Snowflake, Arizona, where Travis Walton was abducted. I had Steve Pierce on my podcast, who actually was with Travis Walton when he was abducted. So I actually talked to him. So I researched all of this. And
right.
I'm going to tell you what I feel. Do you want to know what I feel? You're going to be shocked by this. I
I
think this
do.
is all spiritual. I think it's all spiritual. And I think the spirits could morph themselves into whatever they want to. I truly believe it's spiritual. Everything everybody's seeing spiritual. That's what I think.
I don't think that's wrong. And there's a lot of people that are throwing around a lot of theories. Before we go on, I'll say a dose of Angela official said, apparently they don't want to scare all of us, but I'm ready. I mean, yeah, I guess the way that you couldn't put this out all at once because they do fear that people will panic. On the spiritual side, what I tend to believe that, or lean towards believing, which I have heard from a lot of people on different things, is that we're dealing with interdimensional beings. And that is not just aliens, UFOs, that's like your Bigfoot, your cryptid, Mothman.
Yep.
And also it can be ghosts that pass in and out through veils or portals. So not necessarily aliens coming from a planet to here,
Right.
but coming from one dimension in and out to another.
Right. And listen, I think of this. Think of this. I grew up Catholic, okay? I went to Catholic school. I went to Catholic school for 8 years, okay? What the nuns used to tell us and what I was taught were that there was angels all around us. We all had guardian angels, right?
Right.
They were all around us. They were watching us. They're guiding us through life. That's what was taught to us. But we were also taught that there was demons around us, okay?
Right.
So you had guardian angels, you had demons. And I think some of that is true, and I think it's starting to show itself now. I think people, if you go on the TikTok, there are people on TikTok that can call these orbs in. They actually call them, and
Right.
these orbs come to them. I watched it on TikTok, and I don't know if you heard of the Blitzo family, Emily and her dad. They live, I believe, they live in North Carolina. It's been happening to them for 20 years, and they could call these orbs in. They see these orbs. An alien, he calls her the woman in white. Could it be the Blessed Mother? I don't know. But he says a woman in white came to him, told him everything that's going on, and told him about the future of our country. The government actually went and interviewed him, took him to the Pentagon. That's how much they believe this guy. I
Wow.
forget his first name, but his last name is Blitzo. If
Wow.
anybody in the comments know that, put it up so we can get his name. I forget his first name.
And before I go on, I will throw out there that any of our opinions and things that we're talking about today doesn't reflect UPRN Talk Radio, the station, or anybody other than ourselves and our opinions. We'll just do a little disclaimer. But
Okay.
I think that, well, I'm also Catholic. We got Travis in here saying Chris
Chris,
Bledsoe.
yeah, that's him. That's
Thank you,
him.
Travis. He gets a Miss America win.
Yeah, I mean, look him up when you get off here. It's astonishing. He says a lady in white came to him like 20 years ago. He was dying. They cured him, and ever since then, he's been preaching this word. And he could call these orbs in at will.
Well, you know what was interesting? I was at a case. I don't do a whole lot of cases, but I was there, and the whole case was very interesting. But the part that I'm going to say is that I was in this particular room praying, and someone was taking my picture, and it looked like 50 orbs on and around me.
Wow.
So I was wondering if that was attracting. And also, we'll see if Travis knows this one. This is a quiz show for you, Travis. Let's see if you know this one. The name of the guy that he actually teaches people how to go outside and mentally call in the UFO, UAP. And there's people doing this. They go outside in lawn chairs and they are calling in and they show up. So it's not really like remote viewing, but
Right.
it's fascinating. I can't say I'm sure that it's a good idea,
Right.
but they do it and they do it very successfully. And I can't think of his name right now. I'm wanting to say his first name is Stephen Greer.
Oh, yeah, I know Stephen Greer.
Okay, Stephen Greer. Okay,
yeah, I know Stephen Greer, yeah.
A dose of Angela. I'm just going to say Angela. She said, I don't need to call him to my house. Yeah, like, too, like, I'm out here in Oklahoma, and all three things that I saw were here in Oklahoma. I'm from Chicago. I've lived in Ohio. I've lived in Missouri. I've lived in Austin, Texas. But here, this is where I've seen everything. And not just this time. The first one, the very big event, that was like 15 years ago now. Right. And that was 3 ships, and they were going along the highway, and one of them went right above, and we had to drive under it, and it was very, very scary. We had no choice. You're going at a high rate of speed, and it just goes right over the highway. And drove under it and looked up into the undercarriage. And it was like a circle of lights blinking red, and then white, and then red, and then white. And then it shot off again and wasn't over the road anymore. And that was about 15 years ago. And there were 2 other people with me. So that was not just, my version of something. Angela, you're from Chicago. You're in the Chicago suburbs. Where are you at? I'm from Beverly on the far southwest side. We'll see where she's from. But
yeah, I see. There's another guy I follow on TikTok. His name, he calls himself Spaceman. And he lives in a trailer, and he keeps all his cams on outside his trailer, and he catches orbs daily. And he plays music to the orbs. The orbs come in. And what's fascinating me, Anita, is that there are people out there that still doubt this. I mean, it's crazy that if you see anybody that posts anything paranormal about UFOs or UAPs, people are in the comments, this is bull, this is a plane, this is a drone, this is that. People are scared, and when people are doing that, they're just scared because they can't stop it.
Yeah, I'm to the point where when I come across people that really don't believe, not just I don't know what to think about it, but the ones that are like, no, I mean, after all this time, and they still don't believe, you don't want to believe. You just don't want to
Exactly.
believe. There's
Exactly.
so much out there. You could say, I'm not sure what to think about it, but I think we're so far past the point of all of these people are making all of this up. That's ridiculous.
Right.
And they had a
Yes, I agree.
video of an alien or a spaceship over the Holy Land in Jerusalem. And there's all these people video recording it. Then all of a sudden it just goes, and it's gone.
I saw it. I saw that
Yes.
video.
And
Crazy.
it's like that commercial. Do you see me now? Do you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And still, I don't know. I just think that people are scared, I guess. And then there's people that think that if it is, then it's all demonic. And I don't know
Right.
if it's demonic. I mean, let's reverse lens this. If you were from another planet and you were looking at Earth and you thought, oh, they're all demonic. They're demons.
Right.
They're,
Right.
it could be a mixture of all kinds of things. And I basically think the demons don't need spaceships. And also, if they wanted to do something bad to us, they could have done it a long time ago. That doesn't mean that they're benevolent, and that doesn't mean that they're harmless. But to lump everything together and say it's demons, I don't know. I think we have to just kind of hang in there and be objective a little bit longer. I'm objective, but I'm a believer. I'm just collecting theories. I also think they could be time travelers coming back from the future.
Right. And I thought of that too. And let me throw another thing that's going to really throw a wrench into this. Because like I said, I'm a big TikToker. I'm on there all the time because I post videos daily on there. And the one thing I hear from a lot of people, they believe, now I'm just throwing it out there, I'm not saying I believe it, they believe this is the end times, that we are beginning the end times, and that's why we're seeing all this in the skies. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, I don't think that's crazy because I've been saying I think that we're in the end times. Now, I will say to you, when you say end times, that it could be end times for 100 years. Like
I agree. Yes,
that we're in a history book, and you could see where things started to go wonky. I think we've wandered into Wonkyville on many different levels. I also think that we could be approaching a reset, and our civilization has reset before. We have reset.
I agree.
And I think something like that could be happening. It's all very turbulent and unsettling, and it's hard to know what to make of it. And there are people that talk about the aliens, for lack of a better word, might be actually running our world and running our government. And we have to listen to them, and they're the ones calling the shots. I don't know. It's like we've walked into a movie. It's like we've walked into several movies, is what it is. It's like, oh yeah, I saw this movie. It's just gotten very, very bizarre. And I don't laugh at anybody because I interview people all the time and I enjoy it. We just throw it all on the table. And it'd be interesting, like if you came back on in 6 months and then we did an additional conversation on what we talked about today and see where we are in winter.
Okay.
I think
that sounds good.
might
And
be
you know what?
cool.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, as a Christian, I see the signs that I heard in the Bible. I mean, if you think about it, it said there'd be signs in the sky. Well, heck, we're seeing signs in the sky. That's for sure.
For sure.
And they said there'd be separations of families. And We're more separated than ever. Families are separated by politics, by this, by that. I mean, the signs are there that this could be the end times, or we're in. And like you know, the end times it goes on for years and years and years. I get that,
Right.
but we could be possibly seeing the beginning of it. And I
Right.
wouldn't. If I'm a betting man, I'm going to say it's 50%. I think things are weird. I really do. I think our skies are weird. I think lately our skies look more beautiful than I've ever seen them. There's these big, beautiful sunsets anymore. The skies look pink every single day. We're having lightning storms like I've never seen before. Like, look at the weather. There's a change in behavior in our atmosphere.
Oh, for sure.
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yes.
1,000%. And, you know, it's like we have made this big departure from the world that we grew up in. Younger people won't know this. They won't know anything about this. But it seems to me, and if you disagree, disagree. Right around the year 2000, right around 9/11, everything started to change. And we've been on like devolving as human beings, but accelerating as far as technology. And now we just walk in a world of like division and chaos every single day. I think we're in the devil's playground. I think so. I think that things have run rampant. I know I'm not too cheerful to talk to. I apologize.
But listen, you are totally right. And we have people nowadays. Think about the evil that's out there. We have people cheering when people are murdered.
Right.
We had that health guy get murdered. Okay, that healthcare guy that was shot by that guy. People cheered that he was murdered. They loved that the guy killed him. When Charlie Kirk was murdered, people celebrated. They celebrated that this man was murdered. I mean, our society is getting so evil. So if you tell me this is the end of times coming or the start of it, I believe it. I'm seeing the signs in the sky. I'm seeing the division. I'm seeing people cheer people being murdered. I mean, something's going on here in society. It is 1,000%.
I agree. And when we were young, no one would ever cheer that someone got murdered.
No.
It would just be shocking. It would be like, oh my God, you know,
it's crazy. And it's younger people too, which is even scarier because that's our future generation that's cheering this stuff on. It's crazy.
Right.
You know?
And the stabbings.
Yes.
A lot of stabbings. And that's such a like horrible personal way to kill somebody, and people stabbing people they don't even know.
Right. I know, it's horrible. It's horrible. We're living in an evil world right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would say. So I don't know. Depending on how long end times last, yeah, I think that we are. And you know, when you think back, like a lot of wars, in the beginning of a big, huge world war, did the people necessarily know this one specific thing was the beginning? Or were they just kind of like all of a sudden, it's like, oh, we're in a full-blown war. Excuse me. So things could be changing, and we could be witnessing things that are very much the catalyst of I don't want to say the reset, the Great War, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff could happen. Pick your thing. We could go spin the wheel.
Listen, I'm going to tell you if I'm going to look at my top three, I'm going to say it's possibly the end of the world. Second, I'm going to say it's interdimensional beings. And the last thing, I think it's spacemen from another planet. I think this is interdimensional beings. I think they've lived on our planet. They're just in another dimension. I truly believe that. I believe we live in a spiritual universe, and there's spirits all around us. I don't think they're traveling on spacecrafts coming here from another planet. I don't, but I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm totally right, but that's my feeling.
I agree with you. I think that's like the least likely explanation. We got Carl here. Hi, Carl. He said, hi, and continued prayers for Father Shawn. We'll give Carl a heart. Carl comes on a lot. He is a very, very interesting man and a Bigfoot guy with stories that are just incredible. So we're
I
going
got
to
a
get
Bigfoot
that
story if
next.
you want it.
Sure, let's hear your Bigfoot story.
I think I might have told this before on another show, but I'm going to tell it anyway because it's good.
Okay.
First of all, I agree with you. I think Bigfoot's one of these interdimensional beings too. Okay, I think this is all together. Honestly, I think this all fits together. Ghost, Bigfoot, all of this stuff, cryptid. It's all the same thing. But here's my Bigfoot story. Back in the 70s, I was probably, I don't know, I'm going to say I was 8 or 9 years old. My mom was going to visit her friend that her husband passed away. And back in the 70s, guys, people would get together, cook for somebody. The neighborhood would collect money if somebody passed away. And that's what my mom was doing. She was traveling to her friend's house with a meal because the lady's husband passed away and the funeral was the next day. As my mom's driving there, she's with her friend, helping her. Her friend's with her, helping her. They go around the turn. When they come around the turn, they're going to go underneath the bridge. My mom swears. Now, my mom never even talked about Bigfoot. She told me that a Bigfoot was hanging over the bridge. I know it's funny. It sounds funny. And she said it was hanging over, and they actually went underneath it, screaming and yelling. Her friend wanted her to turn around, but she was afraid to turn around after she's seen this. But she said that it was white. She said it was a white Bigfoot. My mother the next day went back to the scene. She thought maybe she could see footprints in the snow and stuff, but she never seen them. Now, this is Northeast Pennsylvania, Hazleton, Pennsylvania, this happened. Now, in Nanticoke, Pennsylvania, which is about 40 minutes from Hazleton, they are seeing a white Bigfoot there all the time now, still to this day. They actually caught one on camera. So was my mom's story right in the 70s? I don't know. But my mom swears to this day, well, she passed now, swears till she passed that she's seen Bigfoot.
I would believe that, especially if she wasn't someone that talked about it before and she wasn't somebody that made up stories. And there's other people talking about white ones. And we do know that we got Angela saying, and skinwalkers.
Yeah.
Skinwalkers, that is a really interesting topic. I don't know if they may or may not be interdimensional. They might just be here. I think there are things that are just here that don't pass in and out. Skinwalker.
And listen, I want to tell you guys, I had another paranormal experience when I was doing a video, when I was talking to somebody on FaceTime. In the same location that I seen that orb when I was doing my video, I was talking to somebody FaceTime. Why we were talking on FaceTime? It was all quiet in the room I was in. We actually heard somebody walk behind me. Like I could hear them walking behind me, where I turned around and the person I was on FaceTime with said, I just heard that too. Somebody behind you. I said, I thought somebody was walking behind me. There was nobody else in the room. I heard this, whatever, walking behind me. The same place I saw the orb. So things are now starting to happen to me too. I mean, I don't know why, but I've never seen anything paranormal in my life. But over the last month, 2 of these things happened to me. You know, it was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, for the person on FaceTime to hear the ghost too, it was crazy. Like the person knew exactly what happened to me because I was talking to them, and next thing I know, I turned around like this, and they go, I heard that too, like somebody's walking behind you. I said, yes, it was crazy. My chair actually shook too. Yeah. It was insane.
Heidi's here saying good day, Annette. And Danny, much love from Boulder, Colorado. I'm like, Heidi gets a heart.
I've been to Boulder, Colorado.
We love
I've been to Boulder, Colorado because I handled the John Benet Ramsey case. I covered that. So I actually went to Boulder, Colorado to go to that house where John Benet was abducted. So I've been to Boulder. It's a beautiful place. You live in a gorgeous place.
What a story that is.
Yeah.
That's still unresolved too, right?
Yes.
Wow. That was so sad, that little girl.
Yep.
Wasn't it Christmas also? Wasn't it Christmas?
Yes.
Or am I wrong?
Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve, to be honest.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it was Christmas Eve. Yeah, I see this comment. I've seen I can't read it totally, but a grave by the roadside. Is that what it says?
It said, Carl says, I've seen a mottled brown gray one at a roadside. He's talking about Bigfoot.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
He's,
Now, I'd love to see Bigfoot, but I'd be scared if I saw Bigfoot.
you know, I don't. At first, I used to think that they're all like in Washington and Oregon, and then I thought
Right.
they were in the north, and then I started finding out they're like all over the place. And though down south they tend to have more like orangey hair, and up north they're like black or brown, and so they do have different colors, and it's really kind of amazing. And I think they're interdimensional because we never find a dead one. Father
Exactly.
Shawn, we have to tell a Father Shawn story because he's not here. We
right.
just have a lot of fun with him because every year he goes on this retreat, and he gets up in the morning, and there's this wooded area. It's in a wooded area, and he walks around with his coffee and his slippers, and he goes squatching, and he's sure that they're there. And he said the first year he was there, they messed up the tree, and that he made a sound, and they made a sound back to him. So, he goes squatching with his coffee and his slippers. I have no clue what he thinks he's going to do if he actually finds one, but we tease him about going squatching. I don't, not believe. As far as ghosts, I'm a thorough believer because I've been an experiencer since I was a young person. And I just think we're surrounded by spirit and energy everywhere, whether it's human or like angels, demons, like we talked about before. And I think orbs are a manifestation of spirit energy. And it was really interesting. This guy, Dave Giuliano, he did an experiment with his team out in a cemetery, and he had a psychic with them as well. And when the psychic said, I believe it was a lady, I see a lady over here, everyone started to take pictures. And some people got the same time. Some people got orbs. Some people got like a mist. Some people got a dark form starting to make a shape of a human. So maybe orbs, don't know, but maybe they're a stage of manifestation. They can, with less energy, move around, be places, and not use the energy to manifest into a full body. And usually the orbs are kind of beautiful. They have a
Right.
luminosity. They can be different colors.
Right.
If someone has a lot of orbs in their house, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing or malevolent.
Right.
It could be, but it doesn't mean
Right.
that it is. I got Carl saying the upside down tree that Father Shawn discovered was crazy. Yeah, he found an upside down tree.
That's insane.
That's insane.
That's, listen, I'm going to tell you what this all has done for me, though. Okay, it made me believe more that we were going somewhere after all of this.
Oh yeah. Well, okay. I know people that believe it or not. To me, this is my logic. If you're having spirit or paranormal in your home, then to me, again, that's your evidence of life after death. Or it's evidence that there's more to this world than what's on the tabletop. That there's more that we don't understand, but there will still be people that say, I don't know what it is, but I don't believe, and I don't believe in life after death, don't believe in God, and I don't believe in, and you're just kind of like, I don't know what to say to somebody that I just think they got something where they just shut out anything they don't want to deal with. We got PW75, sad. Well, we're just going to call you PW. I was just watching abductee author of UFO of God. I've heard a few times now Bigfoots are from Mars. I don't know. I we think we know a lot about Mars. I don't think we do know a lot about Mars. Here's somebody. Angela's back. I've seen so much in my life. It's either friends, relatives, or someone is lost or a different dimension. I've seen a lot. Plus, I publish a lot of paranormal books. I had my own show for 4 years about the paranormal. And I had people coming at me all the time with cases, and I would try to make referrals for them. And I had people that wanted to pay to put me in a plane to come. It was crazy. I'm like, I can't come there. And yeah, I do believe you. I'm sure that, meaning the big you, like other people, not you particularly, although I do believe you. But I'm sure there are some people that have told me bogus stories, percentage-wise, I'm sure. But, and a lot of people would be like, oh, there's an old abandoned prison by my house. I think it's haunted. And it's like, oh, there's a Civil War battlefield by my house. I think it's haunted. All of these places, I'd be more surprised if it wasn't. That the spirits and all the emotion there and all the stuff that happened. Now, if we're talking about interdimensional, oh my God, that one guy, I got to get him to come on. Big Jim Jones, he was a cop. Did you ever hear about his story? Big Jim Jones?
No.
Okay, he's out by Baltimore. And he was on a call, and he was by an old Civil War battlefield. And he drove into what looked like a fog, and it shut his whole car down. No power, no radio, nothing, no lights, can't move, can't nothing. So he's in this fog, and he's stuck there, and he starts to hear cannons and people and guns, and he's hearing like the battle, like he's there. And he's stuck there. It's like, just thinking about that's kind of terrifying. And then it stops and the fog lifts and his car comes back on. And so what does that kind of make you think? That there's little portals or slips in time. You do have people saying, scientists, I think Einstein, I hope I'm not wrong about this, about that a lot of timelines can be existing simultaneously, that they're not necessarily gone. At least we could say energetically gone. But that's a very wild, wild story. And I got Angela saying Lake Mead is haunted where Danny's at. Well, yeah, because that's where the mafia dumps the bodies, right? Yeah. You have it like, it's your lucky day. We got you a Pinto. This is going to be your car forever. And you and the Pinto are going to be on the bottom of Lake Mead. That's the part they don't tell you. We're going for a drive. I shouldn't make mafia jokes. I'm Italian, so I'm not making fun of Italians. But Lake Mead, I'm sure that there's have they ever tried to drain that or scour that, or am I wrong? Lake Mead, right? That's where, let's go take yes, we're gonna take a nice scenic ride.
I just want to go back to, you said that guy saw the battlefield and stuff. I live close to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, okay? So I've been to Gettysburg a lot of times. And let me tell you something. That place is 1,000% haunted. I was walking through the field. Now, there was no restaurants. I was walking with my kids. through the battlefields. No restaurants around, no houses around, and I could smell chicken soup. Like my mother was cooking it on a stove. And I was thinking, am I smelling the chicken soup that they were making in their tents during the war? I don't know, but I smelled soup on the Gettysburg battlefield, which I thought was so weird. And now people say stuff all the time on that battlefield, and this is what I feel. I feel when you have an energy that is that strong, that 40,000 people died in this war here, right?
Yeah,
I
right.
believe, and I think that's what people are seeing. I think the energy actually stays there, and I think some people see it, some people don't. I think it's that energy, and I think it stays there somehow. That's I
Right.
always felt that.
Well, I think that that's fascinating, and I've heard a lot of stories about Gettysburg, and there's a place over here called Fort Gibson, and we went to go check out Fort Gibson, and Fort Gibson is obviously a fort in a smaller area, and you can see like over here is where the barracks are, and then there's a officers' quarters, and there's where they keep the munitions, and a field hospital, all these things. And so this is what surprises me about human beings, because all of that was kind of spread out. So somebody's like, you know what, we could build new houses here. We could build new houses like between the barracks and the field hospital, and build new houses. And they did that. They built houses and kind of built a town, came up amongst and around this Fort Gibson. So this lady, she said that she was having her cable put in, her satellite dish, and she was like, I see soldiers at night on horses going by. So, this is also, I like to bring this up because this is horses too. Ghost horses. She said, when the sun starts to go down, I see soldiers riding by on horses. And that field hospital, when you drive up to it, it feels like dread pouring out of there all the way into the street. It just feels like dread. Even if you didn't know that had been a field hospital, I don't know if any of you guys, and in the chat room, let me know if you have, if there's like occasionally places where you're driving along and you just turn your head, like you can feel that some of these places look like they're looking back at you, and you feel them, and they feel like dread or something similar. And because I think the more energy you experience, the more sensitive you get to it. Like if you didn't know what cheese was, and I tried to explain to you what cheese was, would look like, taste like, smell like, and you had no clue. But once you know, it's like, oh, cheese. You have the memory of that kind of feeling and sensations and stuff that people can't really explain it to you. But once you've been through that, then that sticks with you. And I think that the spirit world, I think they know who's most likely to see them, hear them, and whatnot. And then they're like magnetized, gravitate towards you. So I think that it's ongoing thing. And also with paranormal researchers, they spend a lot of time sitting in the dark and the quiet, honing their senses. Do I see anything? Do I feel anything? Do I hear anything? And they're just like laser focused, silent, that kind of a level of meditation and awareness and building your sensory abilities, because except for being a paranormal investigator, who sits in a creepy place in the dark for 3 hours?
Right.
Looking and listening and just completely 100% awareness. Yeah, I am.
I
Yeah,
need
thank you so much.
we have like 7 minutes left. I just want to mention this because I think it's important. I always said I wanted to work with Father, and I know right now it's hard to work with him right now. He's going through a lot with his wife. But when she gets better, and she will, because we're all going to pray, I do want to work with him on something here because I don't know if you guys know. Did you hear about the UFO story where this family said that a UFO crashed in their backyard? The cops came. Did you hear about that in Las Vegas?
No,
Okay, there was a UFO back 2 years ago. Cops saw falling out of the sky. This family
you're
saw.
like breaking up a little bit with your audio. You're like breaking up a little bit.
Okay, sorry about that. Let me see if I can fix it.
You might be better off without the mic and just using the mic in your computer. I don't know. I can't fix things.
Can you hear me now?
I do, but it's like breaking up a little bit.
Hang on. Yeah, I was hearing that on YouTube for some reason.
We were doing this before the show started. We were leaving and coming back. So there's something maybe wonky today. So we'll give him a second and see if he can adjust. But what he is saying is a case about a UFO that crashed in a backyard in Las Vegas about 2 years ago. So that's what he was relaying about. We'll see what happens. But we were doing this before the show when we were doing a sound check. We were going out and coming back in. While he's doing this, I'll do station identification because we're getting to the end of the show. You are listening to UPRN 107.7 FM New Orleans, 105.3 FM in the Gulf Coast, and we're very happy that you're here and you've joined us. And we have gratitude for Joe Montaldo and also for Michelle DeRoche, our lovely station manager, and she's so kind and giving, and she has her own show that is fabulous. Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, The Outer Realm. If anyone is interested, she has just wonderful guests. And also, I want to ask everybody to stay tuned for Spirit Switchboard with Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. And that'll be coming up next. And next week, I have Kelly Schaefer, and she's a wonderful author. She's also in our Help Me I'm Haunted book, and she has a book of her own on her experiences. I got Heidi over here. Heidi says Tuesday, 2 p.m. EST, Beyond the Outer Realm. Yes. And then she has Wednesday and Thursday in the evening because I show up a lot in the evening. Every now and then I show up on the afternoon show on Tuesday, but she has magnificent guests. She's just really, she's so good. I really genuinely love her show. I pop in a lot. So I think we lost Danny. We'll see. He might pop back in, but that was interesting. And again, I'm being repetitive, but before the show started, we popped out and popped back in a few times because we were getting a little bit of wonkiness. So if Danny is unable to come back, and he has 3 minutes, I will hold up to that. I think it's a great idea. Let's have Danny, if he would like to, back with us in 6 months and see how more of this plays out. And we could compare notes to the conversation that we had today. And I think that that would be super interesting. And this show was really rocking and rolling. I'm sorry that it got kind of bad with the audio. And we were losing them because we were having a fabulous conversation and a great time. So for Danny Miner, that's the Danny Miner, the Miner Detail and the Danny Miner podcast. And we will have him back. So Heidi said, great show. You know, it really was. I was so into it. I was so into it. Oh, we got Golden Cougar Wolf. That's Nancy. Hi, Nancy. She said she's late. That's okay. It was a really good show, but we've lost Danny. We'll see if he can make his way back, but we are pretty much done. But it was a great conversation. I was really enjoying it. We had a lot of great comments. People were active and talking about it. So let's say that that's what we're going to do. I will contact him after the show and see if we can book him back on, and we'll do a follow-up to this, but we'll put like 6 months on it and see how all of this is playing out. And very much appreciated him being with us today, because very, very fascinating. And I was really into what he was saying about Gettysburg. So I know that he was saying that he used to live close to Gettysburg in Pennsylvania, and able to attest that it's very, very haunted, very active, and the things that go on there. And I've heard that from a lot of people. I have no doubt that Gettysburg is completely and totally legit. I would think it would be weird if that place wasn't haunted, if there were nothing going on there. That would be a lot stranger to me than the fact that there is. I would expect that. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for being here today. We got Carl, one more comment. Carl said, my experience at Gettysburg in the wheat field felt life-threatening. Yeah, I want to hear all about that the next time you're on this show, Carl. I want to book you to come back in September, please, and get us all updated on what's been going on with you. And thank you so much to everybody that joined us today. And I want to wish you a beautiful weekend. And thanks for all of the prayers and all of the donations for Father Shawn and his wife Sharon. And you're appreciated more than you can imagine. And we will be back with you next week, 5 o'clock EST, for Father Shawn's Paranormal Ministry. Thank you so much, and good night.